The COVID-19 pandemic tested governance systems everywhere, and in Kerala, it was both a stress test and a catalyst. Known for human development and decentralized governance, Kerala managed the immediate crisis better than many states, but deeper vulnerabilities emerged: fiscal stress, climate fragility, demographic shifts, and talent outmigration. Post-pandemic budgets became more than recovery tools. They set the stage for a new developmental vision rooted in the Nava Kerala mission, blending infrastructure, technology, and social transformation. Kerala's budgets from 2021 to 2026 illustrate this shift. Massive projects like the National Highway Expansion, Vizhinjam Port, and coastal and hill highways reflect a commitment to connectivity and resilience. Simultaneously, the startup ecosystem surged from 300 ventures in 2016 to over 6,400 today, generating 64,000 jobs and attracting Rs 583 crore in investments. Programs such as the Rs 31.33 crore Startup Innovation Grant Scheme and 2% interest subsidies through the Kerala Financial Corporation highlight the state's push toward a knowledge economy. Digital education took center stage with the high-tech school program, which upgraded 45,000 classrooms across 4,152 schools, backed by KIIFB's Rs 69,941 crore portfolio, including Rs 3,120 crore for general education and Rs 2,121 crore for higher education. Healthcare was strengthened through the Ardram mission, converting PHCs into family health centers, supported by Rs 6,528 crore in projects. Meanwhile, manufacturing recorded over 6% growth, outpacing the national average, signaling revival through supportive policies, infrastructure investment, and ease of business reforms. Despite progress, challenges persist. Brain drain continues to strain household finances, and an aging population pressures health and social systems. Climate-induced disasters, from floods to landslides, threaten livelihoods, while federal fiscal constraints compel innovations like KIIFB to sustain momentum. This seminar reflects on these dynamics, aiming to understand Kerala's budgets not merely as financial statements, but as instruments of transformation, balancing intent and execution to shape a future that is resilient, inclusive, and sustainable. Kerala has consistently led the Sustainable Development Goals (SDG) Index with a score of 79/100 in 2023-24 and ranks second in the State Energy Efficiency Index. Post-COVID, the state has made sustainability a central pillar of development. Through the Kerala State Action Plan on Climate Change, Biodiversity Strategy, Carbon Neutral Kerala 2050 initiative, and innovations like the Solar Ferry and Kochi Water Metro. This strong policy and budgetary focus reflect Kerala's unique model of climate-conscious development. Disaster preparedness is a critical concern for Kerala. In 2021-22, the government responded to post-disaster need assessment (PDNA) recommendations with a Rs 50 crore allocation as part of a Rs 500 crore flood resilience project. Subsequent years saw allocations for flood control in Alappuzha, the second Kuttanad development package, and a Rs 750 crore rehabilitation plan in 2025-26 for landslide-hit regions like Mundakai and Churalmala. A major leap is Kawacham, Kerala Warnings Crisis and Hazards Management System, Kerala's crisis forecasting system, a hallmark of the state's proactive disaster governance. Kerala's budgets strongly support clean energy. In 2022-23, over Rs 1,150 crore was allocated with highlights like solar microgrids for tribal areas, solar pushcarts for vendors, and solar wind hybrids for fishing boats. The 3 Emdawalas demo project and a 25 kilo hydrokinetic turbine reflect technological innovation. Green hydrogen hubs in Kochi and Thiruvananthapuram saw allocations of R200 crore, while R32 crore went to supporting household-level, non-conventional energy. The budget also supports EV development, and battery energy storage will add 500 MW by 2026. These initiatives reduce dependency on fossil fuels and advance Kerala's climate goals. Human-wildlife conflict, especially in forest fringe areas, is a rising concern. To tackle this, the 2022-23 budget allocated a 25 crore, including 7 crore as compensation to affected individuals. In 2023-24, 85 crore was budgeted, a 85 crore of which was directed towards strengthening rapid response teams and enhancing compensation. Kerala's budgetary commitment to biodiversity is evident. In 2022-23, Rs281.31 crore was earmarked, a significant rise from the previous year. Rs10 crore was used to develop ecotourism infrastructure. The 2025-26 budget included Rs5 crore to establish a biological park in Kozhikode and proposed an eco-friendly ropeway at Ponmudi. Clean water access is central to Kerala's development agenda. In 2023-24, Rs10 crore was allocated for rainwater harvesting and groundwater recharge under the Jalanidhi scheme. A substantial R907.10 crore in 2024-25 was dedicated to drinking water and sewerage treatment projects. Additionally, the state committed 550 crore as its 25% share in the Jal Jeevan mission. In 2022-23, Kerala launched targeted environmental initiatives, like allocating 10 crore to expand the Suchithwa Sagaram scheme to clear plastic from water bodies. An equal amount went to R&D on natural material reuse for construction, like coir, bamboo, and husk. The state also initiated an environment budget from 2023-24 to track green expenditures. Kerala's coastal areas, vulnerable to erosion and climate impacts, received dedicated attention. R500 crore was allocated in 2021-22 for Phase 1 of the Coastal Conservation Strategy. Targeting fragile lands, 40-75 meters from the sea, the project uses technologies like tetrapods, diaphragm walls, geotubes, and mangroves. The initiative spans just 50 kilometers and is supported by KIIFB. It involves research institutions and local communities and aims for completion in 4 years, with a total estimated cost of $5,300 crore. Kerala, a thriving hub for innovative ventures, offers an ideal industrial and investment landscape. Productivity soars with a high literacy rate, a skilled labor force, and a strong work ethic. Kerala, positioned on India's southwestern coast, enjoys easy access to global markets, and its well-connected infrastructure streamlines the transportation of goods via road and ports. The state government actively supports entrepreneurship with enticing incentives and subsidies, spurring investment. This unique blend of human capital, infrastructure, and government backing makes Kerala an enticing destination for trailblazers in the business world. The Knowledge Economy Mission targeted digital job creation and skill development, while capital infusions supported cooperative agriculture, labor enterprises, and women's collectives like Kudumbashri. Attention was given to green growth through renewable energy and innovative tourism projects, as well as rejuvenation loans and employment guarantee programs for MSMEs. The 2021-22 budget responded forcefully to the economic fallout of the pandemic, focusing on relief, structural reforms, and soft infrastructure. The primary theme was resilience and recovery, with investments in healthcare, such as a C-1000 crore for mass vaccination and a 500 crore for medical equipment to prepare for future health crises. The infrastructure push was through allocations for the coastal highway to boost connectivity and a 5-year coastal conservation program to enhance disaster resilience. In the 2022-23 budget, the government focused on industrial expansion, urban transformation, and inclusive growth. The KFON was expanded, strengthening statewide access to high-speed internet and digital public services. A 500 crore was earmarked for establishing the Kerala Genome Centre and a 100 crore for a medical tech park. Major allocations were made to district-level skill parks as well as skill-based training to pipeline talent for a knowledge economy. Kerala's environmental agenda gained specificity, with net zero by 2050 as a declared target and over 50 crore for solar and plastic-free programs, demonstrating alignment with global sustainability trends. Value-added agriculture and food processing witnessed targeted funding to stabilize incomes and create new export opportunities. The 2023-24 budget centered on scaling industrial capacity and transforming urban spaces. Kerala prioritized industry-led growth with a Rs 1,000 crore venture capital fund for startups and the Make in Kerala program. Energy investments reflected the green transition, supporting green hydrogen hubs and the creation of an EV industrial park. Urban renewal came through the Nava Kerala program, alongside significant upgrades in city infrastructure. Health and welfare innovations included new funding models and an expanded safety net. There was also a sustained agricultural and rural support focus through MGN regs and targeted schemes for housing and crop protection, ensuring inclusive development for marginalized communities. The 2024-2025 budget scales through high-tech sector development and unprecedented capital infusion. Kerala committed a massive Rs 3 lakh crore over 3 years in sectors such as ports, tourism, IT, and education, aiming for exponential economic expansion. This was substantiated by allocations like Rs 250 crore for digital university, Rs 507 crore for IT, and Rs 1,729 crore for industry, enabling digital transformation and next-generation industries. Tourism revival was prioritized, while the KIIFB was tasked with delivering over Rs 62,454 crore in multi-sectoral projects. Social development funds continue to support marginalized groups, fostering societal advancement. The 2025-2026 budget is based on Kerala's vision of a green, tech-enabled, and inclusive economy. A Rs 1,000 crore Green Fund and a 750 crore for disaster mark a decisive turn toward environmental and climate adaptation projects. Transport and logistics modernization marched on, with Rs 106 crore for roads and bridges, coupled with metro expansions. New industrial zones, Rs 831 crore, and the establishment of the Kochi-Palakkad High-Tech Corridor facilitated the clustering of startups and MSMEs. Strategic investments in advanced technologies spanned Rs 517 crore for new IT parks and the development of AI via a dedicated GPU cluster. Social welfare efforts were done by investing more than 11,000 crore for healthcare, substantial outlays for Karunya health support, life housing, and welfare schemes. The energy sector continues to push frontiers, including Rs 5 crore for a pioneering green hydrogen valley and significant funds for solar and battery tech deployments. Kerala's budgetary strategies from 2021 to 2026 reflect a strong commitment to human capital development, resilient infrastructure, cutting-edge technology, and social equity. Central to this vision is KIFBI, which has spearheaded major projects across sectors including transportation, education, sports, healthcare, and regional connectivity. By strategically mobilizing capital and accelerating infrastructure delivery, KIFB plays a crucial role in driving sustainable development, boosting economic activity, and ensuring inclusive growth across the state. In the post-COVID period, Kerala's state budgets from 2021-22 to 2025-26 reflect a targeted and sustained response to challenges in all sectors of the economy. The government launched wide-ranging recovery initiatives aimed at building resilience and ensuring inclusive growth. The agriculture sector received increasing allocations, rising from Rs 2,282 crore in 2022-23 to Rs 2,981 crore in 2025-26. Key focus areas included achieving food self-sufficiency, expanding the Subhiksha Keralam initiative, and promoting localized production through One Panchayat, One Product. The state emphasized organic farming, climate-resilient agriculture, and digital platforms for real-time decision-making. Support was extended to agri-startups through the Kerala Startup Mission and Incubation Centers. Infrastructure investments, especially in cold chains, storage, and agro-processing units via KIIFB, were critical for reducing post-harvest losses and enhancing value addition. The industrial sector focused on reviving pandemic-affected enterprises, particularly MSMEs. Policies promoted cluster-based development, digital transformation, and skill enhancement. Kerala prioritized green and knowledge-based industries. Rs 300 crore was allocated for green manufacturing, while industrial parks and startup ecosystems received state support. Public-private partnerships, PPP, and concessional finance schemes encouraged investment and innovation, and over 1.5 lakh MSMEs were revived in post-pandemic years. The health sector saw significant strengthening, with Rs 202 crore allocated to the Institute of Advanced Virology and increased funding to cancer research and care centers, including RCC, Malabar Cancer Center, and Cochin Cancer Research Center. The state expanded ICU beds and oxygen plants and rolled out telemedicine and mental health services. Community vaccination drives were effectively managed, resulting in 100% adult vaccination. With the launch of Karunya Arogya Suraksha Padhathi, over 25 lakh patients received free treatment, reflecting Kerala's commitment to universal health access. The revival of the education sector focuses on accessibility, equity, mental well-being, and future readiness. Kerala ranked top in Niti Aayog's School Education Quality Index and implemented large-scale digital bridging schemes. Over 15,000 schools were digitally enabled and 2 lakh laptops were distributed. Emphasis was placed on bridging the digital divide through large-scale development of virtual learning platforms and telecounseling systems to address student stress. A strong push was made towards integrating technology in education through augmented reality, virtual reality labs, digital literacy programs, and performance tracking systems. In higher education, new centers of excellence were established in emerging areas, alongside efforts to foster university-industry collaboration and promote research. Skill development gained prominence through the Additional Skill Acquisition Program, ASAP, and academic incubation support. Scholarships and fellowships were expanded to ensure social inclusion. The tourism sector, a key economic contributor employing 25 lakh people, faced an 80% drop in international arrivals during the pandemic. To revive it, Rs 50 crore was earmarked for marketing, alongside new initiatives like the Malabar Literary Circuit and the Biodiversity Circuit. A Rs 30 crore rejuvenation package and a 1,000 crore loan plan were proposed, with projects such as cruise tourism, caravan parks, and the Champions Boat League enhancing diversification. Through the constant initiatives, the tourist arrivals rebounded to 90% of pre-pandemic levels. In the transport sector, KSRTC, which struggled with operational losses, is transitioning to eco-friendly operations by converting 3,000 diesel buses to CNG at a cost of Rs 300 crore, while a Rs 200 crore loan scheme aims to support workers through fuel-efficient electric vehicles. Kochi Metro and Water Metro expansions, new highway projects, and the fast-tracking of Vizhinjam Port marked key infrastructure developments. Kerala also piloted hydrogen buses and introduced loan schemes for EVs, driving a sustainable mobility transition. Over the past few years, Kerala has been steadily redefining its growth model. We've moved from a purely welfare-oriented approach to one that emphasizes capability building. This shift recognizes that innovation, research, and skilled human capital are the real engines of long-term economic progress. The 2021-22 budget marked a turning point when the government formally adopted a strategy to make Kerala a knowledge economy, the first state in India to do so. Kerala already had a head start with its strong social indicators and emphasis on education. What's interesting now is how the state is strategically using that foundation to pivot toward a knowledge-based development path. In this kind of economy, it's not about natural resources or industrial output. It's about how we generate, apply, and commercialize knowledge, especially in science and technology. Regarding Kerala Knowledge Economy Mission, as of September 2024, Kerala's employment ecosystem has shown significant progress under its digital and knowledge-driven initiatives. A total of 606 employers has registered on the platform, creating a strong base for talent absorption. On the supply side, over 17.4 lakh job seekers have enrolled, reflecting both the scale of demand for employment and the reach of the system. KDISC, which is steering this mission, is focusing on remote and digital job opportunities, opening new avenues without geographic limitations. From 2021-22 to 2025-26, the budget outlay was a 300 crore, a 200 crore, 100 crore, a 23 crore, and 50 crore, respectively. Regarding Kerala Knowledge Economy Mission, as of September 2024, Kerala's employment ecosystem has shown significant progress under its digital and knowledge-driven initiatives. A total of 606 employers has registered on the platform, creating a strong base for talent absorption. On the supply side, over 17.4 lakh job seekers have enrolled, reflecting both the scale of demand for employment and the reach of the system. The platform has successfully mobilized 13.25 lakh vacancies, leading to more than 1.2 lakh individuals securing employment. Importantly, 45,370 of these placements were direct and distinct positions, with 42,413 specifically verified as unique opportunities. Of course, for a knowledge economy to truly take off, access to digital infrastructure is non-negotiable. That's where KFON comes in. It's not just about laying cables, it's about democratizing access to the internet, especially in rural and underserved areas. And the consistent budgetary support since 2021 signals the government's commitment to making digital access a right, not a privilege. Importantly, KFON also challenges the digital monopoly of private internet providers by creating a public utility model ensuring affordability, neutrality, and inclusivity in internet access across the state. Another pillar of the knowledge economy is entrepreneurship, and the Kerala Startup Mission plays a central role here. What stands out is the consistent funding of a 90.52 crore every year from 2022-23 to 2025-26. This isn't just a line item in the budget. It's a long-term investment in a startup ecosystem that can drive innovation, create jobs, and retain talent within the state. From 2021 to 2026, Kerala's budgets reflect a strategic and adaptive policy paradigm, balancing the ideals of equity, social justice, and human development with emerging global and ecological challenges. The fiscal strategy began with public health and community resilience. Mass vaccination, strengthened medical infrastructure, cooperative farming, and decentralized job creation through programs like Subhiksha Keralam, Kudumbashri Enterprise Support, and the Knowledge Economy Mission. As the health crisis receded, investments shifted toward future-ready growth. KFON, District Skill Parks, Digital University, and the Kerala Startup Mission reoriented the labor market toward knowledge-based and digital employment, aiming to stem brain drain and harness Kerala's educated population. Kerala also prioritized climate resilience with the Rs 5 to 300 crore Coastal Protection Initiative, the Green Hydrogen Valley, an environment budget, and eco-transport systems. Welfare schemes like Karunya Arogya Suraksha Padhathi, palliative care, and elderly-friendly infrastructure addressed demographic pressures, while MSME revival, EV parks, and tourism circuits provided opportunities for younger generations. Yet challenges remain: delays in execution, fiscal strain from KIIFB borrowings, and persistent rural-urban disparities. Despite these hurdles, Kerala's budgets stand as instruments of transformation, balancing growth with equity, digital progress with environmental care, and short-term recovery with long-term renewal, marking a determined path toward an inclusive and sustainable future.